Hi, welcome to Gene Rants. I'm Gene. And well, I might have to change the name of this channel because I won't be ranting today. And this will be the second day in a row where I won't be ranting about something. And in fact, I have some very good, well, we'll say potentially very good news, but it's about 99.999% that this is good news that is actually going to happen. As well, you've heard me number many times, and other conservatives too, complaining about media bias. We use the term the liberal media, mainstream media, but say liberal media, which would be just about every station that you listen to regularly except for Fox, right? So mainly I'm talking about, though, the three major networks, which their news division, they get the most viewers. That's my understanding, is still the major networks, ABC, CBS, NBC. But there may be, and it's an overwhelmingly liberal slant on the news, not just on how they report on issues, but on what they choose to report on and what they don't report on, which they ignore. Something I actually had journalism 101 in college, and it's what they call the gatekeeper function, that you can slant coverage simply by deciding to cover one thing and not cover another. Anyway, CBS, they are really they're terrible. Well, they got caught again, editing a video and editing, biased editing of a video. We'll call it. Kristi Noem. She was interviewed. I forget by whom, but she was interviewed on CBS, and it was about Abrego Garcia, the MS. I was going to say, I do this all the time. I want to say MS-13, and I say MSNBC-13, which is not too far off, but that's not the official name. And anyway, so MS-13 member, human trafficker, yada yada yada, and about her goal of deporting this terrible person. And she answered a question about it, and she listed his record and all the problems with him. And then she said at the end of that statement, and we are determined to deport him. Well, the CBS deceptively edited that video, just as they did with Kamala Harris, but this time what they did was they cut off the whole part of the answer, detailing Abrego Garcia's record and what kind of a person he was, and just kept that last sentence that we're determined to deport him. So you see the bias there. And then Margaret Brennan, she's on one of the Sunday talk show, Face the Nation, I think it is. Anyway, I think that's the one that she's on, and she's just terrible. I've seen a couple of clips of her interviewing conservatives, and she just argues with them, interrupts them, totally very, very biased. And in a way, we will be talking about Margaret Brennan today, but what we are really talking about is this big news. Now, you have to know who, CBS is part of Paramount, and let me look it up here. Paramount Global, it's called. Paramount Global. That company just bought, it was Skydance bought Paramount Global, and Paramount Global owns CBS, and CBS has a new division. So you have to know who that is, and you have to what that is, and you have to know the CEO, Chief Executive Officer of Paramount Global, is a gentleman named David Ellison. Now, why is he important? Well, you have to know another name. You may have heard this already of her, Bari Weiss. Bari Weiss. She is she's in the thumbnail to this to today's vlog. So that's what she looks like, and very interesting and very. I mean, you talk about going. Well, I won't say rags to riches, but from here to way, 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 way up there. She was an editor at the New York Times. One of the editors at the New York Times. She's pro-Israel, and she's very fair. And she was being harassed by the other staff, the other editors, the staff. They were constantly, insulting her and for being a Zionist and which and she's I thought I would think identity politics. She's a lesbian, so you would think, and she has a wife, right? So I put it in quotes because I have this whole idea of gay marriage. But anyways, other subject, another day. But you would think she checks the intersectional box, but she's Jewish also. Barry Weiss. She's Jewish and she is a Zionist, supports Israel. Anyways, they harassed her so much that she quit. She quit the New York Times. But what happened after that? So there she is. She's out of a job, but she starts a Substack. I wonder if you've heard of. Well, you must have heard of Substack, but if you haven't, it's where writers you can do it to anybody. I could do it. I don't think I would have a big enough audience. If I ever had 1 million, followers to this channel, I would do it myself. You could start your own channel and write your own column every week or something and sell subscriptions. So that's what she did. I mean, a lot of well-known people have, Matt Taibbi, well-known journalists. I won't go through a whole list of names. People Andrew Sullivan, people you've heard of maybe, but they can start their own channels and they could sell subscriptions. Well, that is what she did, and lo and behold, became enormously successful. I mean, it made multi millions, which brings us now back to David Ellison, because and she's also known, I mean, since then, she's done interviews and she's been interviewed. She just did an interview, or she publishes other people. She's brought other writers in, and well, to show you how fair she is, all right, she's you would call her fairly liberal, but Amy Coney Barrett, the Supreme Court Justice, she has a book coming out. She just wrote an article on the free press. Anyway, very successful. So you have Paramount Global and you have David Ellison, and he is in negotiations right now to buy the free press. Okay, and the price I just read. They're talking, I mean, we don't know. The deal hasn't gone through and nobody's talking, but the speculation is that the free press could be worth $200 million. So Barry Weiss, I mean, God bless her. She went from being an editor at the New York Times who had to quit because of harassment from her co-employees. They're still working at the New York Times, I guess, earning whatever they earn. And she's already earning multi-millions, and now she's going to get a $200 million buyout. But this is so now I had to set that up, all right? So you know what we're talking about here, because now comes the big news, and liberals hate her. That's what you have to understand. Liberals hate her, and because she's fair and she shows all sides, and she's always, I mean, you can watch her do interviews with all kinds of people, and very, very, very fair and very well. Anyways, the point is that it's more than a rumor. It looks like they're freaking out. The news staff, the staff at CBS News, they are really freaking out. And why would they be doing that? Why am I smiling as I tell you this? David Ellison, the understanding is, and I think it's 99% sure, is going to put Barry Weiss in charge of CBS News. She's going to be the head of CBS News. She's going to decide what stories get reported, who's on there. Well, I mentioned Margaret Brennan before. I mean, you always get this that her staff, when something happens, it happened at the Washington Post when Jeff Bezos decided that, well, we're going to be more fair, and at the LA Times too, when someone bought that. I don't remember his name. It's an Asian name, anyways. So we're going to be more fair, and a lot of people quit. So maybe Margaret Brennan and some others will just quit. But if not, I hope Barry Weiss will fire her. And nobody deserves to be fired more than Margaret Brennan. But the important thing is, if Barry Weiss becomes head of CBS News, number one, you're going to get, well, like the Fox News slogan goes, you're going to get fair and balanced. You're going to see the stories that the NBC and ABC will still try to bury. Now CBS is going to cover those stories, and if CBS covers those stories, hopefully, this is my big hope, it will shame ABC and NBC into covering those stories too, especially if people start tuning out their biased coverage and start watching CBS News. Then just it's a pecuniary matter just to keep their audience. They're going to have to report these stories too, and maybe even be a little fairer themselves. But the main point is that big change. You will no longer have. I guess you could call it a blue wall, a blue media wall of liberal news networks, ABC, CBS, NBC. Now you're going to have 2 out of 3 maybe, but you're going to have one that is going to be not favorable to conservatives. No, not fair to conservatives. That is, if you followed Barry Weiss at all, watched her at all, looked at the kind of people on her site, and I don't have a subscription, but I do. You can get an email, sign up for an email feed, and you get these news blasts. Sometimes they post them for free, but even if they're not free, you can go and see the first couple paragraphs. The reason I don't subscribe, by the way, nothing against that or that it's too expensive. The point is, but I'm a news junkie. I read so many media outlets. As you can probably, that's why I'm doing this channel. And if you watch it, you know that I have news from a lot of sources. To subscribe to all of them would cost a small fortune. So that's why I can't do it. And if I'm only going to subscribe to 1 or 2, I can't. It's like picking out your best child, I guess. I just can't, or your favorite child. I just can't decide. Anyways, that's it. Sum up again. Barry Weiss may be in charge, or very probably will be running the news division. The prospects are strong enough that this will happen, or the portents are strong enough that this will happen, that the staff at CBS is already freaking out more than they were already. They were already freaking out that 2 people, they weren't fired, but they left, I forget their names, but 2 high level, an editor and somebody else, I think was the head of the news division actually, quit over the Kamala Harris fiasco, where they deceptively edited her. What they did, I mean, you must know by now, but in case you don't know, he was asked a question, and she, as usual, it was a long, meandering word salad that didn't answer the question and made no sense. So what they did was they replaced that. They took her answer, a more succinct answer, to a completely different question, and put it and replaced what she had actually said. And in fact, Trump sued. And well, this is why another reason they were really freaking out is I think this is what caused those 2 people to quit, because Sherry Redstone, I don't know her company, the name of the company, Redstone, I think it was called, I don't know. Anyways, they settled. CBS settled. They paid, I believe, $15 million to Donald Trump to settle the issue, and CBS, these staffers, they just freaked out over that because CBS settled. But Sherry Redstone had a very good reason for doing that, which is that she wanted to sell CBS, and she did not want this albatross hanging around CBS's neck. Just pay the $15 million. Get rid of this scandal, and then sell it to Paramount Global for a heck of a lot more than, I don't know the exact price, but I know it's heck of a lot more than $15 million. And that's, I think I saw a number, $8 billion. Don't hold me to that, but I think not just for CBS, but for the whole all of it. So, anyways, that's it for that's it for today. So thanks for stopping by. If you could subscribe, that would really be great. Share this video with anyone you think would benefit from it. Your comments are welcome in the comments section below the video. But most of all, come back and see me again. I'd love to see all of you again. And until I do see all of you again, bye.